Hey, shalom, Mr. Brother Itazayah, Razamath. And there's something I want to talk about. As you know, I've been doing certain research on history and linking it up with Bible prophecy and mainly like history about like what was going on in the Renaissance and about scientists, Antarctica, going into the ice cube neutrino observatory, but had to pause that because something has happened. Something that caught my attention. A certain person got caught up doing some disgusting things. And a lot of things is being brought to light. And that's this demon, Jeffery Epstein. Now, we're about to go and walk through a dark woods. All right? So come on a journey through these dark woods for a minute. Just walk around because there's a lot of things that's coming up to light. Well, when I first heard about Jeffery Epstein, it was I heard mainly about some rich guy and he got caught up in some abuse scandals with minors. And then there was a Netflix show called Filthy Rich. That was one of the first things I heard about Jeffery Epstein. But now certain other things are being revealed. That he wasn't just crazy predator. He was also, according to what was being released, the Epstein files, he was a psychopath, an occultist, a transhumanist, an organ trafficker, a eugenics supporter, an encryption pirate, and a cannibal. Whoa. And a lot of people are talking about it. They released the Epstein files. Now, this guy has ties to celebrities, politicians, rich tech workers, many entrepreneurs. His list is so much that I just have to talk about this. This is Ephesians 5:12. We're going to see what the Bible has to say. We got to see the biblical truth behind Jeffery Epstein and understand his alliance. So this is Ephesians 5:12. It says, for it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done in secret. So some of the things that he was doing in secret was some crazy things. Like when you hear about Epstein, the earlier things about Epstein years ago, you was just hearing about this crazy guy who was involved in minors, giving young girls massages, and he ended up getting caught up, ended up getting straight to prison. But it's so much more. That's what they wanted you to think. Now that the Epstein files has been released, we realize he was doing a lot of secret practices. Let's see what these files were revealing. We're going to go through this. See, this is part 1 of the series, so it's a little short, because this is more an introduction of what we're going to go through. We're going to go through some of the main points of these files. But why are they releasing these files? Just why are they releasing the Epstein files? So this is one of the main reasons why they're doing it. This is Isaiah 3:9. They shew of their countenance, thus witness against them. And they declare their sin as Sodom, they hide is not. So now they're not hiding right now. They're saying, yes, one of the top wealthy elites named Jeffery Epstein, he was actually doing all these wicked, foul things involving minors and some extra stuff too. And even some extra stuff, even some extra other stuff with some cake on the side, all type of things involving celebrities and just politicians, so many things. Then they're not hiding it now. They're just showing you this. They're like showing you, yeah, he's involved in this person, that person. Now what? Yeah, they're being gangster with these files. They're not trying to cover it up. They're allowing people to talk about it on social media. And it's like they don't care. Isaiah 3:9, second part. Woe unto their souls, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Yeah. Now, a lot of people are looking at a lot of these politicians as evil. Some of these politicians that you thought was good people is now they're turning out that they're in the Epstein files. A lot of these celebrities and these artists and these singers that was very dear towards you, that music influenced you, you saw them in the Epstein files. a lot of these different like techies and these entrepreneurs, these owners of these large companies that you said, wow, they're actually doing something good for humanity. They're in the Epstein's files. All right, this is Isaiah 32:5. It says, the vile person shall no more be called liberal, meaning someone who's vile, doing disgusting things. He's a vile person. Liberal means freely. Nor the churl said to be bountiful. I believe the churl is like a rude person. But about the vile person, he can't just walk freely no more. Things are being exposed. They're doing things. He's now allying himself. Before he got caught, he allied himself with so many people. And these were planned. All the wicked things he was doing. Psychopath, occultism, transhumanist, organ trafficking, encryption pirate, even cannibalism. So he was doing all these things. This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. Iniquity is sin or wickedness, and work evil upon their beds. So in other words, while they sleeping, they're thinking about wicked things to harm people, things to destroy society, things to do all type of wickedness. And it says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power. This shows you that it's talking about wealthy people, because wealthy people, they have the power to do that. They have the power to escape these criminal, to not be labeled as criminals. Why? Because Epstein himself, he got arrested times in the past and he was able to escape just like that. Why? Because of their wickedness. These people, these politicians that are these wicked politicians, these wicked entrepreneurs, these wicked celebrities, these wicked performers, and even certain world leaders. A lot of these people, yes, he was tied to certain world leaders too. Yes. Why? Because they're all together. They're like part of that same, that part of that under the dragon's wing. You know who we talk about, Satan. That's why, and they trust in their riches. They think about since they have all this richness, all this wealth, nothing's going to happen to them. Well, this is Proverbs 11:28. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall. So yes, just because they're wealthy, they're multi-billionaires, even trillionaires, having all this money, thinking that nobody can touch them, thinking that they're someone great and mighty. No, the Most High, he sees that. You had a whole lot of rich millionaires in the past thinking that they were all this and they ended up dead. Why? Because they're still mortal. Let me read this again. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. So people who are righteous, they're going to flourish. It doesn't look like it. So as we walk through this forest, right? This forest is like just a regular unknown forest, because we're walking through this forest and we're thinking, this guy was able to get away with a whole lot of things. And he thought in his mind that he couldn't be caught. Yeah. Now, when you start to think about this, there's two reasons. One, why he was doing this. Why he was doing all this wickedness. The first reason is a simple reason. He was just a proud, arrogant guy who aligned himself with so many other celebrities and just thought he can get away with it. Or, number two, he knew he was going to go down soon, and he wanted to take other people who was wealthy as him down. I mean, there's other reasons too, but those are like two of the main reasons as I'm coming up with right now. Because just think about it. He has letters, there's emails, there's documents, there's pictures, there's videos of him with celebrities, politicians, world leaders, and like rich people. So it seems like he's doing the same thing that guy, if you know what Diddy did, P. Diddy did. What he was doing when he was just recording other artists, just so they can say, oh, you was here, you was there, so they can be silenced about what P. Diddy was doing. Because P. Diddy, I would say, like, he's like a watered down version of Epstein. That's what P. Diddy, until he got caught as usual. And there was pictures and videos that P. Diddy was actually aligned with a lot of different artists. And it happened with Epstein too. There's a lot of emails, a lot of pictures of him with so many different politicians. A lot of politicians, a lot of artists, a lot of entrepreneurs. So it seems like he's like showing like bringing them down also with them. But now it seems like all these politicians, these world leaders, all these people, it's like they don't care. It's like release the files. So now people are like looking at them saying, oh, they're evil. So what? They're still going to follow them. So all these politicians, these people that's up in high in government that you vote for, up in high in society that you vote for, you're still just going to follow them after they was exposed to being allied with this super demon named Jeffrey Epstein after the things that he got caught doing? Because the files is like going into details and it's showing the people's names. And you can even find pictures of these rich people. This is 1 Timothy 6 and 9. All right. And it says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men into destruction and perdition. Let me read that again. 1 Timothy 6 and 9. But they that be rich. So if you're a rich person or wealthy, just like these people that was on the files, fall into temptation and snare. Yeah, they get invited to one of those parties, just like Diddy was inviting some of these celebrities to the parties, just like Epstein's inviting them to the islands, knowing there's cameras all around, fall into a snare. Now they're snared up. They know, oh, they're aligned with Epstein. Or he'll email people and say, and write in an email certain things, use their names in the email. Just think about this, for example. If Epstein was not trying to expose many of his fellow billionaires, why was he using their real names? If you knew that this was going to come out later, that somehow you was going to get caught, you should at least use code names. But he's using these people's real names. He's taking pictures of these people, and they knew what Epstein was about. 1 Timothy 6 and 9 again. But they that be rich fall into temptation and snare, into many foolish and hurtful lusts. Yes, it was a foolish thing for many of these politicians and these celebrities to just go over and have these parties at his island, knowing what he's dealing with. And it says, which drown men in destruction and perdition. I mean, there's a lot of wickedness that's behind it. So these people, it's like they don't care. They knew what this guy is doing. And this guy is sick too. He's like, you have to be sick in your mind. He has all this money, and these celebrities, politicians, these entrepreneurs, these techies, they also have a lot of money. So once you get too high in that riches in your mind, you think you're untouchable. You're above the law. You can do whatever you want. But no, it don't work that way in the Bible. See, the Most High, he's seeing all this, and he reveals all what's going on. This is Luke 12 and 15. So now, this is what Christ is saying. Jesus Christ is saying this. It says this, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. Covetousness means want, like you want and lust for something, or you're greedy after something. You want more and more. You're inviting people over to an island, and you're a celebrity and you want something. For a man's life consists not in the abundance of things which he possess. So let's think about Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, he had his own island. I even heard rumors that he had a ranch somewhere, and I believe in New Mexico. He owned a whole lot of things. He was in touch with scientists, with politicians, entrepreneurs. He had a whole bunch of emails and letters revealing using their real name. He took a lot of photos with him. And many of these photos weren't hidden photos. These were photos where these politicians looked at the camera. See, it's a little different. See, with P. Diddy, he was doing a lot of hidden photos. But with Jeffrey Epstein, he was out in the open. And it seems like these wealthy people knew exactly what he was doing, and he still rolled with the flow, with exactly what he's doing. Because that's pride right there. They were pride. So let's Luke 12 and 15. Let me read that again. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists not in the abundance of things he possesses. Yeah. And a lot of people, they want to be like these politicians, like these celebrities, like these entrepreneurs, and make billions and billions of dollars. But then they link up in clubs. They have to come together in clubs. They form different clubs, different unions. And sometimes they go behind these closed doors. Once those doors open, they see something that just can't be unseen. They get endowed, they get connected to a lot of ritual practices that goes back to the occult. And they end up getting snared. Just like it says, the people that be rich, they get caught ensnared. Why? Because they follow after Satan. And many of these celebrities and these politicians and many of these entrepreneurs, they've done a lot of evil things to acquire their riches. Yeah, no, a lot of them are evil people, and they had to do wicked things to acquire their wickedness. So if they was doing a lot of wicked things to acquire their wealth, like I'm talking about the entrepreneurs that did wicked things to acquire their wealth, of course, if they follow somebody like Epstein, the demon Epstein, and they know what he's doing, they're going to go with the flow, not thinking that they're going to be caught. This is Jeremiah 22 and 13. It says, woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness. So you want to build your house, or you want to gain your fortune by unrighteousness. You want to gain a whole lot of wealth by doing wicked things, even certain wicked things that we don't look as wicked, like prostitution and things like. Although prostitution is looked at as wicked in society, you have other type of legal prostitution like OnlyFans, which is legal prostitution. You're getting paid to have intercourse. That's prostitution. And it's legal in the US. Yeah, OnlyFans. That's straight up legal prostitution. But people don't look at it like that. They just look at it as making money and having fun. Yeah, legal prostitution. Let me read it again. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, meaning you're doing unrighteous things, or you gaining unrighteous activity or unrighteous riches, and his chambers by wrong. So you're doing something secretly in your house, in your chamber, that's wrong. That uses neighbor's services without wages, and giveth him not for his work, meaning you're stealing money from the poor. You think you're going to get away with that? Nah, the Most High, he sees all this, that these people are actually taking things from the poor. The Most High, he understands what's going on, and he reveals this. So this is just part one, called The Biblical Truth Behind Jeffrey Epstein, part one, The Alliance. So this is just going into the alliance, his alliance, and scriptures going over that. And part two, we're going to get a little deeper, and it's going to get real deep, and it's going to get real dark as we walk through this journey in this dark forest. So we're walking through this dark forest, and we're going to see a whole lot of things in here. What these rich billionaires, what they were doing when they were connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And what is he really doing? What are all these people are really doing? It's going to be shocking. It's going to be eye-opening once you find out what these people, these evil people, are into. So just make sure you subscribe. Stay subscribed, because it's about to get very, very deep. May the Lord and Jesus Christ of Nazareth, who we call Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, watch over you and bless you. And still subscribe and just, stay tuned until what's about to happen next, because it's about to get really, really hectic as we go through this dark forest.